Did you know that more than 90% of piano players nowadays don't move past the beginner stage? If you feel stuck and can't seem to make progress no matter how hard you try, you might be the victim of several sneaky piano myths that sabotage your practice and make you run in circles. This is Ilinka Vartik for PianoCareerAcademy.com, and I'm really excited to share with you a long-time dream, a video series where we will debunk the most dangerous piano myths that are sadly thriving in our modern times. This series comprises 7 episodes, all of which are available for free, and it is the result of more than 9 years of research. During this time, I worked with hundreds of students as part of my piano coaching program, and I have realized that most of the problems they struggle with are caused, in fact, by myths. These problems could be technical or expressive, related to hearing, performing, or efficient practice. And what is a myth, really? No, it's not a legend from old times. A myth is an inaccurate belief about how things should work. It's an assumption that we apply to our practice on a regular basis without even realizing that it is the main cause of our lack of progress, injuries, and frustration. Simply put, a myth is just misinformation in noble disguise. Piano playing is not an easy journey, but misinformation makes it 100 times harder, and there is no need for that. We live in an informational era, but how do we separate the wheat from the chaff? What can we believe and what should we discard? How do we know what works and what doesn't? My mission is to give you the information you need to make educated decisions on your piano path. It's also to make you think, to make you question your assumptions and see things in a new light. Together we will unmask the myths, chase away the clouds, and avoid the time-wasting pitfalls so that you can make true progress. Each video will have 5 compartments: the myth origin, the reality, the myth dangers, and the solutions. Myth number 1. You can become a piano virtuoso in 3 months. Related myths. You can become a good pianist in 30 days. Beginners can learn advanced pieces. Progressive piano methods are boring, too hard, and they take too long. Beginner pieces are not fun. You can become a good pianist by learning random songs. Learning the notes equals mastering the piece. Pressing the right notes means playing music. I also like to call this myth the fast food mentality, or shortly, the hamburger. The hamburger is literally the disease of our century, affecting every area of our lives, not just musical performance. This myth originates in our desire for instant gratification. We are impatient and we want quick results in everything we do. Our unrealistic expectations are sadly fueled by society, TV, media, and even some teachers. They usually make it look really easy on TV, and this brilliant Tom and Jerry cartoon is a perfect illustration of most beginners' expectations. Myths are powerful because they appeal to our desires. Who doesn't want to be a superhero? Superheroes are destined to be great. They're born with it and use no Maybelline. And in movies, their training takes only 10 minutes. The hamburger myth lures us with promises of fast results. So we take the bait and stray off the path to real mastery, chasing an illusion. What's the reality then? There are no magic shortcuts. You can't become a black belt warrior in only 10 minutes. In real life, this takes time, dedication, and perseverance. So there is no magic pill that can help you master a complex art such as piano playing in only a couple of weeks or months. If this pill would exist, don't you think that professionals would have found it a long time ago? There's also no quick shortcut that can take you from learning where the middle C is to playing a prelude by Rachmaninoff in only 3 months. On a more serious note, here is the maximum we can learn in a couple of weeks or months. A bit of theory, some musical notation, a few basic chords, and we can also learn how to clumsily type the notes of a difficult piece instead of actually mastering it and playing it freely, expressively, and without dangerous tension. Simply put, in a short time frame, we can only acquire some information on the level of our rational mind. To become a good musician, information is not enough. We need transformation. Transformation means forming deeper level skills that rely on our long-term memory and require subconscious and neuromuscular programming. It means acquiring useful habits and reflexes. It means creating new neural pathways. It means learning how to use or how to relax muscles we didn't even know existed in various combinations. It means training our hearing, our musical sensitivity, imagination, expressive and performing skills. In other words, our mind and our subconscious, our hearing and hundreds of different muscles need to function together harmoniously. Playing an instrument is a teamwork that involves our entire being, not just the eyes and the fingers. Training these skills takes time, and we can only do it in a step-by-step manner. This is simply how the brain works. Can you harvest ripe apples 2 weeks after planting the seed of the tree? Can you beat a black belt fighter after only 2 months of karate training? Can you instantly juggle with 10 balls without learning how to throw and catch 1 ball first? Similarly, we cannot play a Chopin nocturne well if we only have a couple of months of piano experience. There is a saying that I really like. In practicing any art, 2 years is when we just start to realize all the things we don't know. So, how much time do we really need to form good piano skills? This depends on our goals. Indeed, not everyone wants to become a professional concert pianist. If you have modest goals and you simply want to play beautiful intermediate level pieces reasonably well, you will be able to do so in about 3 to 4 years of consistent practice. And after that, you can choose to move forward from there or not. If, on the other hand, you wish to form serious skills that would allow you to access the advanced repertoire, you will need at least 8 years of systematic practice. And that will be just the beginning, because mastery requires a lifetime commitment. Think about it. Why do you have this desire of playing your favorite pieces? It's because you love music, isn't it? Now ask yourself, is this true love or just a little crush? True love can last a lifetime. Therefore, dedicating many years to your practice is not a problem. It's a joy. Before moving on, I recommend reading Mastery by George Leonard, a very good book that will offer you deeper insights into how mastery really works and why the hurried modern approach will never take you anywhere. And now let's take a look at a particularly dangerous related myth. Learning the notes equals mastering the piece. Or pressing the right notes means playing music. With the hamburger approach, learning the bare notes of a difficult piece takes our entire brain power, and we think that there is nothing more to master. If I can hit all the notes of the Moonlight Sonata, it means I have learned it, right? Wrong. Message, artistry, technical freedom, expressive effects. These are the most important elements of our art, the ones that give us true fulfillment. If we chase super fast results, however, these elements are completely ignored. Some of you might ask at this point, and what's wrong with that? Why is learning the notes not enough? I just want to enjoy my favorite pieces, so why do I need all these fancy skills? I will use a simple metaphor to illustrate this. Let's recite a few lines from Hamlet's famous monologue by simply pronouncing the words, with no meaning, no intonation, no phrasing, and no expression. To be or not to be, that is the question, whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles and by opposing and them. That's exactly how note-only playing sounds. And now I will try to read it with meaning and intonation. To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether it is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles and by opposing end them. And this can be compared to playing a piece expressively and with meaning. Sure, reciting a poem like an Oscar-winning actor is not for everyone, but learning how to recite it with at least some meaning and not like a broken computer, that's your right, and it is much easier than you think. As you just saw, there's so much more to speech than the bare words, and the same can be said about music. Plus, right now you might assume that note-only playing will always satisfy you. Well, I have bad news, based on my experience of working with hundreds of students. This shallow approach might be satisfying for a really short time, and after that you will get bored or terribly frustrated, and you will either quit or give up the myth and start building some serious skills. And now we have reached the core of this tutorial. Fast food might be quick, but we all know how bad it is for our health. In piano playing, the hamburger creates problems on all levels. It wastes your time, it causes tension, injuries, and bad habits. It affects your technique, your hearing, your expressive skills, and practice habits. It causes a lot of frustration, and ultimately it doesn't allow you to grow and to discover the true beauty of music. Simply put, short-term pleasure equals long-term pain. Let's see why this happens. By chasing fast results, we achieve the opposite. We waste a ton of time and effort. We want to become good players in several months, but we end up losing years. Because we don't learn the fundamentals in a step-by-step manner, we don't build the skills that are needed to move past a clumsy relative beginner level. And the more we focus on advanced pieces straight away, the more we wander around blindly, chasing our tails. Many players are afraid of the progressive path because it seems long and boring, but the hamburger is the real time waster because it doesn't take you anywhere. Students that pursue fast results usually have no idea how to use the body efficiently and how to adapt it to the mechanics of the instrument. They don't learn any healthy techniques. Whole arm action, weighted playing, arm relaxation, wrist flexibility and navigation, They play by using the separate movements of their fingers, and in 90% of the cases, this leads to tension, fatigue, pain, and ultimately hand injuries. Many people also sit too low or too close to the instrument, with elbows glued to their sides. They slouch, they don't ground their feet properly, they extend their neck forward, and they make many other little mistakes that can slowly lead to backaches, headaches, and severe discomfort while playing. Music is the art of sound, and it is always born in our inner hearing. We can only play something well if we can imagine it first. If we pursue the hamburger, however, music becomes a mechanical activity that only involves the eyes and the fingers. We see the symbols in the score and we type them on the keyboard. The mind and the hearing are either not involved or just helpless witnesses of the random results our fingers produce. And if we don't use our hearing properly, how can we develop it? So we might become good readers and press all the right keys, but we will never be real musicians. The purpose of music is to express something, to send a message, to tell a story. It is not to produce random sounds that might fit nicely together. But this is exactly what happens if we chase the hamburger. Articulation, dynamics, sound balance, and voicing phrasing, intonation, sound color, and character. It's impossible to play a piece well without these elementary expressive effects. Unfortunately, if we just learn how to type the notes, we are not even aware of their existence. Our analytical skills suffer as well, because we don't take the time to learn how to decode the musical text properly, so that all of the composer's expressive indications are clear, not just the bare notes. In other words, we might learn how to press the correct notes of the Moonlight Sonata without ever realizing what this music is about, what expressive effects are required here and why, what type of sound quality we need to aim for, and what techniques are required for that. And of course, we also don't really know who Beethoven was when he lived, how the classical style is different from the pre-classical or romantic one, and without knowledge, any performance will sound empty, shallow, and mechanical. The hamburger tells us to become proficient at sight reading and then simply play a piece through many times from beginning to end, first slowly and then faster. It's impossible to make any real progress this way. In time, this mechanical approach becomes a habit, but we'll discuss this in more detail in episodes number 4 and 6 from our Myth series. And finally, the hamburger causes lots of frustration in the long run. The faster we want to go, the longer it takes to get there. After a while, many people become disappointed in piano playing and quit altogether. They sadly miss the whole point of our art. It's not about quickly learning a few songs. This goal might seem shiny in the beginning, but it doesn't offer true fulfillment. Learning how to play music is about continuous growth, never-ending discovery. It's about embarking on the adventure of your life and enjoying every step of the way. It's about the process, not the destination. The truth is that there is no finish line, and our mastery is never complete. We are in this for the ride, which ultimately offers us the biggest joys. And paradoxically, while traveling, we do develop brilliant skills, and we can play any advanced piece, but we don't stop here. If we truly love this beautiful art, we are committed for life. And this is the discovery made by those players who decide to dig deeper and learn how music really works. At this point, some of you might tell me that this is still not a big deal and that I'm overcomplicating things. Be honest, is there a part of you that thinks, I'm just trying to have some fun here and you're spoiling it for me, taking away my freedom of playing whatever I like? Before jumping to such conclusions, however, think about it. We can only be free if we are informed. If we don't even realize what's going on, we are slaves to the myth, and we have no freedom of choice. A beginner trying to play Liszt is not free. He is simply misinformed and he's hurting himself. My purpose is not to tell you what to do. It's to help you acquire a deeper perspective on this topic so that you are truly free to make good decisions. So if you do understand how the hamburger works, if you get acquainted with the solutions and how enjoyable they can be, and we'll discuss them in a moment, and you still think that you can safely master La Campanella even though you haven't learned how to play one note correctly yet, it's obviously your right to do so, and I have no business telling you otherwise. Another important thing, please don't just take my word for it when it comes to these myths. Go and see for yourself, because a practical approach is always the most efficient one. And now we reach the last compartment of this video, solutions. No, you don't have to struggle with endless drills and exercises and spend 20 years working on boring pieces for beginners before you can finally play the pieces you love. This is another myth. Yes, the solution is to choose the progressive path. But what you don't know yet is that the step-by-step approach is by far the fastest and most enjoyable one if done correctly. Yes, you will start with easy pieces and move forward one step at a time, going through the beginner and intermediate repertoire. This will allow you to build your entire skill set in a harmonious manner, giving your brain the needed time and space to assimilate everything properly, to form reliable skills that you can use as a foundation and build on top of it when you start playing more difficult pieces. This type of holistic growth offers true lasting progress, and it is focused on quality, not speed. Think about it. The time will pass anyway, so why not use it wisely? A year from now, you will wish you had started today. While on this journey, you will discover lots of amazingly beautiful pieces for beginners and intermediates. The joy you will feel while mastering them will be much greater than the short-lived satisfaction you think you might get from just typing the notes of the Moonlight Sonata right now. The step-by-step approach consists of small, actionable steps that will help you to achieve large and specific benefits, so that when you do play advanced pieces several years from now, you will do it masterfully. On the progressive path, you will feel successful at every step because you will have clear goals, you will be able to actually complete them and enjoy the reward of playing every piece well, as compared to the vague and enormous demands of the hamburger that can never be conquered by a beginner. The secret here is to find a really good piano method that doesn't just teach note names and finger numbers, but also correct technique, ear training, musical analysis, expressive skills, and efficient practice habits. For this, you can study with a really good real-life teacher, or if you prefer more freedom, you can follow a professional-level online course, such as our video course for beginners at Piano Career Academy. This course is based on Nikolaev's Russian School of Piano Playing, the most fundamental method book we use in the Russian piano school, and it will help you to develop all your skills in a healthy and enjoyable manner. If you truly love music, offer yourself the gift of patience and stop eating piano hamburgers. Clean up your practice diet, learn how to play delicious, healthy pieces, and enjoy a whole new level of mastery. So now that we have dealt with the hamburger, it's time to continue our myth debunking adventures. The next 6 videos from this series are available for free as well. Simply click on the first link from the description box below, subscribe to our newsletter, and each episode will be delivered to your inbox 1 per week. As a newsletter subscriber, you will also get a free copy of my ebook, A New Perspective on Piano Phrasing, and many interesting surprises. The entire Myth series is also fully available in the members area of pianocareeracademy.com, along with all our exclusive courses and tutorials. Once you join, you will have instant and unlimited access to all of them. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know what other myths you have debunked in your own journey. And if you don't want to miss my future videos, you can of course subscribe and ring the bell. And now it's time to show those myths who's the boss. Enjoy your practice. Bye bye.